Ho, ho, ho. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Story Time by Santa. Sit back, relax, and enjoy these wonderful stories that Santa is going to read to you, your family members, and your children. I hope you have a wonderful time. And if you like, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Santa loves you. Ho, ho, ho. Enjoy. Here we go, boys and girls, mums and dads. Another edition of Storytime by Santa. Are you ready? Have you got your hot cocoa and your cookies? The Elf and the Golden Sleigh. In a quiet corner of Santa's North Pole workshop, an elf named Tinker spent his days fixing broken toys. Tinker wasn't like the other elves, who crafted dazzling new creations. Instead, his talent lay in bringing old forgotten toys back to life. But Tinker often felt overlooked. While others showed off their shiny new dolls and train sets, Tinker worked quietly in the background. One snowy evening, Santa gathered around the elves for a special announcement. Christmas Eve is just days away, he said, and with a twinkle in his eye, it's time to unveil the Golden Sleigh. The Golden Sleigh was a legend among the elves. Built long ago, it had once been Santa's sleigh, glowing with golden magic that sparkled under the stars. But over time, the sleigh had grown old. Its paint faded, and its magic dimmed. Santa had replaced it with a newer, faster sleigh, and the Golden Sleigh had been tucked away in the workshop attic. This year, Santa continued, I'd like the Golden Sleigh to join our Christmas Eve celebration as a symbol of our history, but it's in need of repair. Who among you is up for the task? The room buzzed with excitement. Every elf wanted the honor, but Santa held up his hand. This is a special project. I need someone with a knack for fixing things. Someone who sees beauty where others see brokenness. Tinker's heart leapt. Fixing the Golden Sleigh would be the opportunity he had always dreamed of. Nervously, he raised his hand. I'll do it, Tinker said softly. Santa's eyes twinkled. Tinker, I was hoping you'd volunteer. The Golden Sleigh is in the attic. Do your best and remember, its true magic comes from the care you put into it. Tinker hurried to the attic. There, beneath a blanket of dust, was the Golden Sleigh. Its once brilliant paint was chipped. The runners were rusty, and one of the seats had a hole. Still, Tinker felt a thrill. This sleigh was once carried Santa around the world. It deserved to shine again. For days, Tinker worked tirelessly. He polished the runners until they gleamed, replaced the broken seat, painted the sleigh with a fresh coat of golden paint. But something was missing. The sleigh didn't glow with the magic it was known for. Tinker sighed as he stared at the sleigh. He remembered Santa's words. Its true magic comes from the care you put into it. I've done my best, Tinker whispered to himself. What more can I do? Just then, he heard a soft jingling behind him. Turning, he saw Santa holding a bag of tiny golden bells. These, Santa said, handing the bells to Tinker, once hung from the sleigh. They jingled with magic when it flew, spreading joy to all who heard them. Perhaps they need your special touch to ring again. Tinker carefully attached the bells to the sleigh's edges. As he worked, he thought about why he loved fixing toys. It wasn't just about making them new again. It was about giving them a second chance to bring happiness. When the last bell was in place, something amazing happened. The sleigh began to glow. Softly at first, then brighter and brighter until it shone like a star. The bells jingled, their sound lit and joyous, filling the workshop with warmth. Santa laughed, his eyes sparkling. "You've done it, Tinker. The golden sleigh shines with the magic of care, hope, and love. You've reminded us all that nothing is ever too old or broken to bring joy again." On Christmas Eve, the golden sleigh led Santa's reindeer through the sky, its golden glow lighting the way. Tinker stood outside the workshop with the other elves, watching with pride. From that night on, Tinker was no longer overlooked. The elves realized how special his gift was, not just for fixing toys, but for seeing the potential in everything, no matter how worn or forgotten. And Tinker learned an important lesson too. True magic isn't in perfection. It's in the love and care you give to bring out the best in something or someone. The end. And here's our life lesson. The story teaches children the value of seeing beauty and potential in things others might overlook. It emphasizes that everyone has unique talents that can make the world brighter, and that true magic comes from care, love, and hope. Wow! Wasn't that awesome, guys? Isn't that interesting? Remember, not all things broken need to be thrown in the garbage. The snowman who learned to dance. In the quiet town of Frostvale, every winter brought something magical. A grand Christmas Eve festival called the Snowlight Celebration. Townsfolk filled the square with music, laughter, and dancing until the sky lit by sparkling snowflakes. This year, the children of Frostvale decided to build the biggest, happiest snowman the town had ever seen to welcome visitors. They rolled enormous snowballs for the body, found the perfect carrot for the nose, gave him shiny coal eyes. They even topped him off with a jaunty red scarf and a tall black hat. "We should name him," asked Lily, the youngest of the children. "Let's call him Frosty Pete," shouted another child. Everybody agreed, and Frosty Pete became the centerpiece of the Snowlight celebration. What the children didn't know was that their love and laughter had filled Frosty Pete with a bit of Christmas magic. On the night before the festival, a twinkle sparkled in his coal eyes, and suddenly Frosty Pete came to life. He blinked and looked around, delighted by the snow and the twinkling lights. But as he watched the townsfolk practicing their dancing in the square, he felt a pang of sadness. "I want to join the fun," Frosty Pete thought, "but I'm a snowman. Snowmen can't dance." Still, Frosty Pete couldn't resist trying. He wiggled his snowy arms, but they wouldn't bend right. He tried to tap his icy feet, but they were stuck in the ground. Frustrated, he slumped down in the snow. Just then a small glowing figure appeared, a tiny snow fairy named Twinkle. She hovered above Frosty Pete and asked, "Why are you so glum on this magical night?" "I want to dance at the festival," Frosty Pete said, "but I'm too clumsy. I'll never be good enough to join in." Twinkle smiled kindly. "Dancing isn't about being perfect, Frosty Pete. It's about having fun and sharing joy. If you let your heart lead, you'll find your own way to dance." Frosty Pete wasn't sure what she meant, but Twinkle waved her wand, sprinkling him with a dusting of snowflakes that sparkled like diamonds. "Try again," she said. As Twinkle disappeared, Frosty Pete stood up, feeling lighter than before. He began to sway to the music, drifting from the square. His arms wobbled, his feet shuffled, and soon he was twirling and spinning under the moonlight. His movements weren't graceful, but they were joyful, and that made all the difference. The next evening, the Snowlight celebration began. The townsfolk gathered in the square admiring Frosty Pete as he stood proudly in his place. But when the music started, something incredible happened. Frosty Pete wiggled his arms, shuffled his feet, and began to dance. The children gasped in delight. "Look! Frosty Pete is alive!" The crowd cheered as Frosty Pete twirled and swayed. His dancing wasn't perfect, but his joy was contagious. Soon everyone in the town was dancing along, laughing and spinning together. And by the end of the night, Frosty Pete had become the star of the festival. Twinkling, watching from afar, smiled. Frosty Pete had discovered the magic of dancing, not to impress others, but to share happiness. When the festival ended, Frosty Pete stood still once more, a snowman again, but the joy he had brought stayed in the hearts of the people of Frostvale, reminding them that the true spirit of Christmas is about sharing love, laughter, and fun. The end. The life lesson is, the story teaches children that it's okay to try new things, even if they're not perfect. Joy comes from embracing who you are and sharing your happiness with others. The story also emphasizes that courage and positive attitude can lead to magical moments. Wow! I hope you enjoyed your stories tonight. Santa sure enjoyed reading them to you. And Christmas is getting closer. Santa loves you. Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho.